Well, here we are after another loss. I'm all by myself. My partner in crime, my stud muffin of a man, is gallivanting all around Italy right now, just leaving me here high and dry. It's okay though. We're going to get through this together. We're going to make it through this. It's left me during the blues of December as Chelsea is once again crushing our souls this month. And I frankly don't know what to do at this point. I feel like this podcast is just a giant circle. We're repeating the same shit week after week. But yet here we are. Show up. We do the show because we love Chelsea Football Club. Saturday sucked pretty much. Best friend left for Italy. It's going to be gone for a couple weeks. Chelsea lose 2-1. My pet's heads are freaking falling off. So yeah, it's quite the day. It's been quite the week. It's been quite the December for Chelsea fans. But we're used to this by now. We're used to sucking during December. We're used to this bullshit that comes every December. So we'll talk a little about the game, a little bit about the match, some facts here and there. We'll talk a little bit about the match tomorrow afternoon against Bournemouth, I believe. I believe that's who we play next. I don't even know at this point. Yeah, it's Bournemouth. It is what it is. It's another match. But played Villa on Saturday. It was going to be a great Saturday. Chelsea was going to send Jason off with a victory. He was going to get those airplanes on fly to Italy, and he was going to have a great vacation. Now Chelsea has ruined his vacation. And apparently all the tourists in Italy have also ruined his vacation. But that's neither here nor there. Because of those idiots, he cannot get on tonight to record with me. But we're here, so let's talk a little bit about Villa. Let's talk a little bit about this Aston Villa match. Again, it's the same thing every week. It's just the tale of two halves where we have a half of good football, we have a half of bad football. We don't know what we're doing one half. We know what we're doing the other half. And this match is just flip-flop. Instead of coming out sluggish and looking like shit, we came out, on fire. We came out pressing. We came out looking great. The team looked like they were up for the match. The players actually looked like they were playing with some heart, with some soul, with some tenacity, with some ferocity. They were up for the match. Reece James had one of the best halves of football I've seen him have in years. But yet, we only get one goal from it. We only get one goal from the first half. It was just chance after chance after chance after chance, and we just couldn't capitalize on the chances. And that's ultimately what led to our demise. 71% possession in the first half, 1.97 XG, 10 shots, 3 shots on target, 2 big chances created, missed 1 big chance, 91% passing accuracy on 299 passes. 1 corner. Villa had 29% possession, no shots, 0 big chances, nothing, anything. 72% pass completion, and João Pedro scored in the 37th minute from a spectacular Reece James corner, which I think many of us thought that he had scored from the corner and scored a Galactico, whatever you call that shit from the corner. I don't know, whatever it is. But yeah, thought Reece had scored one from the corner. Ultimately, it took a ricochet off of João Pedro's calf muscle, went in the net. So he scored that goal. Only goal of the first half. Great, cool, whatever. The starting lineup was, again, I don't understand this Badiashile starting at left center back. I'm guessing it's because he's left-footed, but it doesn't make any sense because when Fofana plays, Chalobah plays left center back, and Fofana will play right center back. So I don't feel like that's a valid excuse. The fact that Josh once again does not play this match, it's just baffling to me. If Josh does not play against Bournemouth tomorrow, once again, I will be extremely pissed. This podcast might get broken on it because I don't have my partner in crime, and I'll be here by myself, left to my own devices, and left with no choice but to destroy shit because Josh doesn't play or start tomorrow as he should. But yeah, Badiashile starting is just incredibly dumb. It doesn't make any sense. He hasn't been the same since the injury. He'll have a good match here, good match. Just the inconsistencies are there. Fofana didn't play because he was being rested. Don't really know what the hell that means when we had several days off in between. Fofana should have been able to start, but it's Fofana. Guess we're protecting him, doing what we do for our players. I don't know. Whatever the hell it was. But yeah, first half. Solid first half. It wasn't terrible. I mean, it was actually a great half of football. Enjoyed it. I just assumed Big Willie had really motivated the team with Maresca sitting up in the bleachers. He had really gotten through the team. He'd finally motivated them. He'd gotten them up to play. And then, lo and behold, we go into halftime. And Maresca talks to the boys at halftime. And the second half just goes to shit. Villa makes subs make differences in matches. And if you want a reason why on this podcast that I will speak for Jason in this situation, because I think he believes this as much as I do. Whenever you look at it and you see the difference that subs make in matches, and while we harp on Maresca and his subbing and how it's just shit and his subbing sucks. And I don't care what the statistics say that got released today about freaking I think we're the second earliest sub team. We make subs the second earliest of any Premier League team. I don't understand that. I'm guessing it has to do with a couple of the halftime subs we made throughout this year. Maresca has made some halftime subs, and I've applauded him for those. But the majority of the time, it's the 65th minute on, 70th minute on when you bring someone in. You can't bring an Esteval on. And what did he bring Esteval on in this match? Esteval came on in the 72nd minute. You can't. Our first sub was the 69th minute of this match. That's when our first sub happened. I don't get it. I don't understand. Villa's making subs at 58, 59, 59. They're three big subs: Watkins, Onana, and Sancho. The three subs that make a difference, especially Watkins with his 2 goals. But the other 2 subs, Sancho made a huge impact, regardless of whether he scored or not, or got an assist or anything. But the point is that Emery was being proactive. He was going for it. Maresca is too many times a reactive manager. He's going to react to what the other team does instead of being proactive and trying to go for the jugular, trying to go for the kill. And it's just so frustrating, the subbing that he does. And I can't get over it. I know the quality of players coming off our bench aren't that great. When you got to bring a Delap in for a João Pedro, you bring a Gittins in for a Garnacho or something like that. It's you're not upgrading, is what I'm trying to say. In that instance, now you can make an argument for Santos coming in for Enzo, that the way Enzo plays a lot of matches, that would be an upgrade. But and the only reason he made that first sub with Gusto this match is because Cucurella has to come off because he was feeling his hamstring. So there's that. I don't know. But the lack of being proactive in his subbing is one of my biggest frustrations with Maresca. And we heard this from the Leicester fans. We covered this in last year in the preseason podcast, not this past preseason, but the preseason before, when we hired Maresca. That was one of the complaints from the Leicester fans. So this isn't something new. This isn't like Maresca has come to Chelsea and this is some new policy he's adopted. This is who Maresca's always been. He's always been a guy that subs late. It's just who he is. And whether it's right or wrong, I think that's irrelevant. It's a matter of, do your subs make impacts on matches, and our subs clearly don't. When you don't bring on our best sub in Esteval until the freaking 72nd minute in a match, and I realized we weren't even trailing at that point. We were tied 1-1. But the minute that Villa tied it up in the 63rd minute, Esteval should have been off that bench. He should have been getting ready to sub in, because you need subs to make impacts. And I would argue Esteval should have been on halftime, because Neto and Garnacho had shit matches this match. So neither one of them should have been on the pitch. You got to hook at least one of them. If you want Estevao on the right, you hook Garnacho and you move Neto to the left. Just abysmal performance from both of them. Never been a Garnacho fan on this podcast. Never really been a big Neto guy either. Thought we paid way too much for an average player. I don't get it. Our wings are. I mean, it's crazy. It sounds. I feel like we're worse at wing this year than we were last year, and yet I feel like we have a better player in Estevao that can play the wing that just doesn't get the minutes that he deserves. And this is a pro Estevao podcast. Estevao's bad. Quinde's coming next year. It's going to be pro Estevao, pro Quinde. It's going to be insane. But I know we'll never see those two on the pitch at the same time because this Maresca is going to manage Quinde's minutes or manage Estevao's minutes and all this bullshit that we're going to have to hear. And Quinde has Champions League experience. He doesn't need his minutes managed. He's played at this level of football before. So if I have to hear that bullshit next year from Maresca or bullshit from Twitter or Reddit about managing minutes for Quinde next year, I'm going to lose my shit. Estevao will be in his second year in the Premier League. There's no reason to manage his minutes next year. Like there just isn't. Dear God, the state of our wing play is just so incredibly bad. And the fact that that's how Maresca wants it. And that's another frustration. Maresca wants to play through the wings. That's his system. He wants to play through his wingers. He wants them to cut in, make the runs. Like that's Maresca's system. And it doesn't work with the wingers we have. And yet he refuses to adapt to the style of play. He refuses to play any other way except for the Maresca way. And that's a huge frustration with him. Like when he has showed the ability to adapt and play different styles, it actually usually works out. You look at the PSG game as the best example of this over the summer. He adapted his style. It was a different way we played in that match, and it worked. And I realize you can't play the same way every match. Like you've got to be able to change the way that you play, and he just doesn't show that versatility enough for me, for my liking. And this isn't meant to be a Maresca hate podcast because I'll get into that in a little bit. It's pointless to hate on Maresca at this point in time. It literally is just pointless. But this match flipped on a dime in the second half. Emery made the right calls, the right subs, pushed the right buttons, motivated his team. They had 2 goals. It was just utter shit display from us. Badiashile gifted in the first goal. And that's what we always say on this podcast. Chelsea will give you chances to win matches or to get points from them or to score goals against them. It's just a matter of do you capitalize on those mistakes? And Villa did. And I'm not saying that's the thing. And my argument for all this is Josh cannot do worse than what Badiashile did in this match. He can't do worse. So just play him. Give him the experience that he needs. Let him play. Let him go out there and gain the experience. Let him grow into the role because we can't clearly count on Fofana. Colwell, we don't know how he's going to be when he comes back from an injury. Will he be the same? We don't know. ACL injuries, some people come back better, some people come back worse. You just never know what you're gonna get from that kind of injury from somebody coming back from that. Maybe he comes back better than he was before, and I pray to God he does because we need some stability in the back line. But you have an 18-year-old, 19-year-old sitting here primed and ready that you can build into the next right center back, great right center back at Chelsea. And Maresca refuses to play him. And he cannot do any worse. He has not proven this year that he is worse than Badiashile, than, dare I say, Chalobah, dare I say, Fofana. The kid has proved himself over and over. Does he make mistakes every now and then? Yes, but so does every one of our other center backs. So what's the point? Why won't you play him? It just makes no sense to me. You start Badiashile, he passes the damn ball right to Villa. They get a goal. Get right back in the match because he's trying to make a freaking pass from 7 yards off the byline all the way to the player at midfield. That's not realistic. If you're under pressure, just clear the ball and get it out and set your defense back up. It's an unforced error. It's a dumb mistake. It's stupid. And it's over and over again with this team. So why do we keep playing these players to make these mistakes when you have youth on the bench that can be just as good? They're not going to be. He's Josh. No one will convince me that Josh is worse than Chalaba, that he's worse than Chile, that he's worse than Ahato at center back. That I'll even go on a limb and say he's just as good as Fofana is at center back. He's got different qualities than Fofana does. Qualities that I like. He's a ball carrying center back. You have a ball carrying center back, and when Colwell comes back, you would have a line breaking center back. What more do you need? Like we have the intangibles right there in front of us. Maresca just refuses to play these players in the positions where they need to be played and play them and give them the minutes. It's just infuriating to me that Josh cannot get on this pitch. It's one of the most infuriating things about this team this year. And then, lo and behold, they score another goal. And this isn't to say Robert Sanchez, Bob, as much shit as we have given him on this podcast, and by God, if Jason was here, he would vouch with me. He would be here. He would back me up with this 100%. As much shit as we've given Bob on this podcast, and we've given him a ton of shit, he is literally the reason that we are not losing games 5-1. Like, this game could have easily have been 5-1, and nobody would have been shocked. But Sanchez made some freaking incredible saves, and he's done that over and over again this year. And that's the one thing. All you people screaming for Mike Mignon, go look up their save percentages. Go look up who is a better shot stopper. I guarantee you Mignon doesn't stop what Sanchez started. And this is coming from a guy that doesn't like Sanchez, that wishes we would go sign another goalkeeper, that thinks we need to upgrade the goalkeeper position. Because Sanchez ultimately doesn't fit Maresca's ball, because Maresca wants somebody to play out from the back. But what would you rather? A goalkeeper that can play out from the back but yet can't stop shots? Or a goalkeeper that can stop shots but can't play out from the back? Give me the guy that can stop shots any day of the week. And that's what Sanchez is, and Mignon isn't. Mignon, yes, great with his feet, great passing, great with the ball at his feet. But he is not as good of a shot stopper as Sanchez is. So a goalie's job is to stop the damn ball from going in the net. So give me Sanchez over Mignon any day of the week. But I digress. Second half stats. 53% possession for us, 47% for Villa. XG, 1.19 for Villa. 11 shots, 8 shots on target, 5 big chances, 3 big chances missed. 7 corners just in the freaking second half. They had 7 corners. They had just as many corners in the second half. They had more corners in the second half than we did the entire game. Let that sink in for a minute. That just shows you how much on the front foot they were. 8 shots on target. That's just insane. 5 big chances. That's what I'm saying. Sanchez saved us points this match. He saved us points because of his saves. I don't know how their XG was only 1.19. That's just mind-blowing to me when you have 8 shots on target and you score 2 goals. Like, just mind-boggling, but whatever. XG's never been not a big XG guy. But it's just insane how much we were on our back feet in that second half. So I don't know. And this is a pattern of play at this point in time. It's a pattern of habit. We have a good half that we cannot string together 2 halves of football. If you go back and listen, we had a special episode last week, December 23rd. It's our Festives episode. If you don't know what Festives is, it's irrelevant. We just aired our grievances with the club. And one of Jason's big grievances with his club was consistency, in how the fact that we don't have consistency across the board. And that's 100% fact. No consistency at this club. Not consistency from match to match, from half to half even. Like, it is crazy. We go up 1-0 a lot of times. We shut off. There's no consistency in this squad. And I frankly, no clue who to blame for that. Do you blame the players for that? I don't know. Probably there's some blame there. Do you blame Maresca? Probably there's some blame there. Do you blame the freaking rugby coach? Yeah, blame him too. I don't know. But there's no consistency. It probably comes from a lack of leadership on the pitch. We have no maturity on there. And this is where I back Maresca 100%. There's two things Maresca has said. We don't have experienced players. Poch said this exact same thing. Back Maresca 100% in that because he's 100% correct. And then also back Maresca when he said we need a new center back. 100% correct in that as well. Like, that's the thing. Maresca is not the problem in this system. Does he have his flaws? Yes. Do I think Maresca, can he bring us the glory that Jose Mourinho brought us? I don't think he can. I don't know if he can deliver us a Champions League like Tommy Tuchel. I don't know if he can do that. I don't know if he's capable of that yet. But you can't fire Maresca and keep stupid and stupider in the freaking front office as directors of football. They're your problem. I mean, the problem lies in the players. The problem lies with the manager. There's problems in the boardroom. There's problems with the directors of football. There's problems with the ownership. There's problems everywhere. It's not, you can't just, if you just Maresca out, you're not addressing, you're addressing one of the many problems of the club, but it's not going to fix the overall problem. And that's what people don't understand that are on this fire Maresca train, Maresca out train. Okay, whatever. If that's what you want, name me one person you're going to get better than him in the club that you can bring in that can make a difference. Because the main quality that they have to have, it's not whether they can, their tactics, it's not their management style, it's not how they manage players. None of that matters. The only thing that matters to the board, to Bali, to Clear Lake, to the directors of football is, are they a yes man? And that's ultimately what's going to get Maresca fired, because that's what got Poch fired. It wasn't that Poch was shitty as a coach. Well, that's debatable. He wasn't great. But the thing with Maresca to get him fired is because he's grown some balls this year. And the things that he's saying is the exact same things that Poch was saying 2 years ago. Is the exact same thing that every Chelsea fan agrees on. It's the fact that we don't have experience in this squad and that we needed certain key positions, and he wasn't given those key positions, and he's not going to be. Maresca was brought into this club to be a yes man. The minute he stops becoming a yes man, he will be fired. Not because of his tactics, not because of the way he manages. He will be fired because he is not a yes man. It's as simple as that. Whether you agree with it or not, I'm not the biggest Maresca guy, like I said, but I don't think fire Maresca is the answer to the problem. When you have Stewart and Winstanley, can't get deals done. They can't get deals across the line. Somebody brought up a great point on Twitter. I don't know if I saved the tweet or not. I don't think I did, but I just read it a little while ago. But it's essentially just went through the list of players, that we've been in for, like Elise, Editike, players like that we've been in the running for, but the deals have not been closed. And ultimately that falls on the directors of football. It's not the manager's job. But you tell me how much better we'd be with Michael Elise on our team right now instead of freaking Garnacho. You tell me how much better we'd be right now. You tell me how much better we would be with I don't know who, I don't remember who I just named. I named Elise and somebody else, whatever. It's irrelevant. We would be a better team if they could close these deals out. But Editike, you tell me how much better we'd be right now with him at striker instead of a João Pedro, who's not a striker, and Delop, who is a flop. Delop the flop is what I'm going to start calling him, because the dude doesn't want to do anything except punch people in the freaking face and get yellow cards. I literally text Jason during this match. I said, when Delop came on, I said, over under 10 minutes before Delop gets a yellow card. It was under freaking 5 minutes before he got a yellow card when he was on the pitch. Less than 5 minutes and that dude got a freaking yellow card. It's just like, when you can say that about a player, it's not a good thing. It's not good. It's not like Caicedo getting yellow cards. Caicedo gets yellow cards because he's an aggressive player. A lot of Caicedo's yellow cards are not deserved, but he gets them anyway. But the point of all this to say is, fire Maresca isn't the problem. You've got a board, you've got egomaniacs that are running our club right now that have a plan, they have a vision that they think is right, and they will refuse to say that they are wrong. They're not going to admit that they're wrong because they're too egotistical to do that. Igbali has too much of an ego to admit when he is wrong, that the model that they have created isn't sustainable for winning trophies. It is sustainable for making money. And that is ultimately what they want. They're not going to say that in public, but that is what they want. They're here to make money. They're venture capitalists. They have one goal. It is to make money. You now know who the 5th most valuable club in the world of club football is. Just got released today or yesterday. It would be Chelsea at $1.18 billion. We only trail PSG, Man City, Arsenal, and Madrid. We are now jumped Barcelona as being a more valuable club. We're a more valuable club than Liverpool, Bayern Munich, Tottenham. Guess what we haven't done and these other clubs have done recently, but with the exception of Arsenal, win trophies. And that's all they care about. They don't care about winning trophies. They care about the value of this club going up. So when they sell it in 7, 8, 9 years, their gains are astronomical. That's the only shit that they give. And it's finally starting to see people on Twitter wake up to this fact. It is very encouraging to see people on Twitter finally waking up to this. And it's refreshing because I've been saying this for 3 years now. Jason's been saying this for 3 years now, that this club gives no shits about trophies. It is only about money. And the sooner people realize that, the sooner your hopes can be tampered, the sooner that we will realize we're sitting in 5th place, 10 points behind 3rd, 3 points off of 4th, tie with Manchester United in 5th, only up because of goal differential, 1 point ahead of Sunderland, who's behind us, in 7th, who we've lost to this year already. That's where this club is going to be. We're literally 2 or 3 losses away from being out of top 4 this year already. That's the gap. The gap between us and 3rd is 10 freaking points right now. 10 points between Chelsea and 3rd place. Do I think Villa will keep this insane run that they're on up for the rest of the year? Absolutely not. Villa will clearly drop points. We'll have a chance to bring it closer. But when you're halfway through the season and you're 10 points back, not the greatest thing in the world to be. Not where you want to be. But that's the thing with this club, this inconsistencies. 13 points dropped from winning positions this year. We're 8 points off where we were last year at this time. And everybody remembers how bad this time was last year, too. It was the same thing last year. I think it happened like a week later last year, maybe. Like, I think we had a good start to December instead of the whole December being shit. But we're 8 points off where we were last year. We've regressed. We've made signings over the summer that have not made us better. But the signings will make us more profit in the long term. And that's all that Clear Lake cares about. That's all that this club is here for now. It's flipping players, making profit. That's it. That's it. I'm done talking about Villa. Let's move on. We have Bournemouth tomorrow night. I should have asked Jason earlier who his pick was to win this match. But Bournemouth currently sits 15th in the table on 22 points. So you look at this. Bournemouth wins tomorrow. They're 4 points behind us. 4 points behind us. I don't know. I mean, it's completely possible. We barely beat them last year. So it's just such a frustrating time right now, I think, to be a Chelsea fan. It's so frustrating. But we have Bournemouth. I don't really know where we go. You look at the rumors. Palmer and Reese minutes they're gonna be both assessed before the match. I mean, like you got to think, how do you line up if you're rested? Hato is out. Cucurella is probably out with his hamstring. So you have no left back. So that means Gusto probably goes to left. If Reese doesn't play, that means Chalobah to right, Wesley and Josh in the back, or Josh at right back, and Chalobah and freaking whatchamadiddlehopper, Fofana in the middle. I don't know. Caicedo's one yellow card away from having to go to match 33 in the season without picking up any yellow card for getting a 2-match suspension. So there's that hanging over this match. Palmer, who knows whether he's going to play or not. So if Palmer doesn't play, do you start João Pedro and Delap up top? Delap, 0 goals, 0 assists in the Premier League this year so far. $30 million signing. I said it was a good signing just based off the value of what you were getting, or what I thought we were getting. At least we'd get, 6, 7, 10 goal contributions this year. 5, 6 goals, 4 or 5 assists, 10, 11, 12 goal contributions in the Premier League would have been fine with me for paying $30 million for a striker like that. But Delap has proved he's nothing more than a freaking flop this year. So where do we go from there? Good God, I swear to God, Maresca, if you don't start Esteval tomorrow, it is what are you doing? Like, I don't know. There's no reason you don't start Esteval tomorrow night. Absolutely zero reason to not start Esteval tomorrow night. After Garnacho and Neto's performance, they probably shouldn't be allowed back on the pitch. But who the hell else do we have to play at this point besides Esteval? Esteval should be one of the first names on the team sheet. He should be the first winger on the team sheet every match. It's just that simple at this point. The kid has it. He has more than Neto. He has more than Garnacho. He has more than Gittins. He is the best winger we have on this team. And the fact that Maresca is managing his minutes the way that he is just utter bullshit and just an excuse not to play him, because it's not managing his minutes at this point. When you don't play him and then bring him on in a sub in the 70-something minute in the next game, when your 2 wingers are having absolute stinkers, it's not managing minutes at that point. It's bullshit at that point in time. So, yeah. I don't know what you're supposed to do at that point in time. I don't know what you're supposed to do with... I mean, I'm assuming Caicedo and Enzo start in the middle. I don't know why they wouldn't. But yeah, I don't know. 2-1 Chelsea. That's my prediction. Trying to stay somewhat positive. But yeah, I will be back on here tomorrow after the match with another recap. Hopefully it will be a lot more positive. Hopefully it'll be a lot more vibrant. Hopefully we're talking about an Esteval hat trick. You know what? I'm going to up my prediction 3-1 Esteval hat trick tomorrow. So yeah, hopefully tomorrow's podcast will be a lot more positive, a lot more vibrant, and it won't be me dressed in all black with a hoodie up, moping about how shit our club is right now. So until next time, follow us on all the socials down there, Red, White, Blues FC. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Substack. Subscribe to our Substack. Match reviews every week. Trying to get back into the blogging more. I need to do better. New Year's resolution, do better with that. Blog more. Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to your podcast at these days. If you're watching us on YouTube, like, subscribe, follow, blah, 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 that other bullshit. And until next time, I'm not going to say the end because I'm just going to leave it in the air because Jason's not here and that's his part. But until next time, we'll catch you guys and gals on the flip side.